Hello, everyone. My name is Igor Tomic, and today on Money2020, we're conducting interviews and kind of checking what is going on in the market. Today with me, Mick Fennell, who's from Temenos, director of the payment infrastructure. So, hello, Mick. How are you?
Hello, great to see you. I hope you're enjoying your time here at Money 2020.
That's definitely true. It's the first day. Let's check what
We're
is
all
going
still
to be.
smiling.
Yeah. So let's check how the weather will be on Thursday. But anyway, today we would like to discuss with you various topics, and one of them is the regulations, because once you said that regulation in one way is something that is limiting organization, but also a catalyst for innovations maybe. So what do you think, or what the thoughts are you bringing in it?
Yeah, so we're talking about modernization, what drives a financial institution to modernize. And one of the key drivers of that is regulation. It's not the only driver, it's just one of them. However, it is the one driver that's mandated. All other things, if you're thinking about rolling out a new product or going after a new market or servicing a certain type of business, that's a choice you have to make. Whereas regulation is the mandated one. And I think what happens with an organization, sometimes the level of pain or the challenge they have internally gets so high that they realize they have to change. And regulation can be the final straw that breaks the camel's back on that. But it's not always the case. The really forward-thinking organizations and the ones that we love to work with are those that recognize that that enforced change of regulation is a chance to improve things. So not just looking at addressing the compliance issues, but say, right, how can we roll out these new services? And it also helps them internally. A lot of people inside of banks, they want to make change, but there's such an aversion to risk that it's hard to make those significant changes. So within a bank, you'll have people who realize that regulation is the way to almost piggyback on to get in some changes they're making. But of course, some changes are only affecting certain areas. And the other way that they can leverage regulation for change is what we call progressive renovation. So they look at a certain aspect of processing, a certain vertical processing of the bank, and they can look to modernize that and to change that into elevate their capability in that area. And so regulation's not going away. In fact, in some cases, it's getting more and more. And you have regulation on the infrastructure side. Here in Europe, we talk about DORA. There's always technology. But the real drivers are the business compliance ones, to adhere to the latest rules, to adhere to the latest regulations, be that EU, be that US, be that global, SWIFT, etc. It's to keep up with those changes. But a lot of those changes are driving new services. They're driving new ways to engage with your customer. So it is a combination. Regulation should be embraced, should be seen as an opportunity to transform, to modernize, to regress your system. And that's how we do it with our customers.
Thank you. It's well said. And another hot topic which is happening here, like for a week, everyone is discussing about AI, agentic payments.
What? AI?
No one heard. No one heard. But anyway, I think the previous stage was more automation in workflows and kind of facilitating the usual ways of doing the business. Do you think is this changing, and what banks should look like for, or what they should focus to make sure that they definitely in AI space, not just automation space?
Yeah, it is amazing. You're right. It's evolving. And we've seen that as well. And we were all talking about agents and agentic AI and building agents to improve automation. That's not stopping. We're continuing to do that and build in agents build it into the cake as we're baking the cake. So it's like pieces of fruit inside the cake. But now what we're finding is also, right, how do we use AI to bake the cake, to actually define the ingredients, to bring them together, to actually develop faster and to develop more successfully? And then also in the eating, the actual consuming of the cake. First of all, we're embedding AI within our user front ends so that we help the users within the financial institutions to be more efficient, to access data quickly, to be able to have conversational discussions with the actual application. And that actually improves the user's day-to-day life. It improves how they interact and how they service their customers. And so they're the three areas. It's the baking, the creating, the actual processing inside, and then the consuming of it, how you actually interact with it and supporting that.
And the third question is about the wallets, because if you take a look on the market, like 10, 15 years ago, it was all around bank accounts. But right now we see on the market, the competition is happening not just by grabbing the customer and making them the banking customer, but also around the wallet infrastructure.
Yep.
And it's kind of more thin as a nature, because you're not sometimes even going into the full KYC because you can open the wallet. And I think is it changing the perception how we're working with the financial instruments, because instead of just opening the full bank account, you can kind of have the aggregation wallet or a last KYC process where you can operate with your funds, but still have this layer which is new to the market, basically.
Yeah, you know, in some ways, I was thinking about when we talk about the wallets now, we're talking about a lot of different instruments being held in the wallet. I sometimes think they should almost call it a bucket rather than a wallet, because we're not just talking about account balances, but even within those account balances, there's different types of instruments. So we've got tokenized assets, we've got tokenized deposits, as well as standard currencies. We've also then brought in crypto and stablecoin. And then on top of that, we have trust. And so digital identity. So the wallet is becoming a bucket for all of these things. And it's really how we, the financial industry, is interacting with our customer moving forward. Now, it's incumbent on us as the provider of the platforms that run the systems, that run all of this, is to create the services that service that wallet. That wallet is looking at 10, 15, 20 different types of instruments, being able to give your customer a secure, trusted way of holding all of those assets and transacting those assets, doing payments, be they traditional standard currencies or be they stable coins or crypto or the digital euros coming along. So the wallet is now becoming the focus for a lot of change. And what that requires is in the back end and underneath, the platform that you have needs to be able to service that. First of all, from a technology point of view, that comes from API enable, cloud first in terms of using native cloud processing, so you get the resilience and the performance required, because these things are getting bigger and bigger and more instruments are being held. But you then need to industrialize the processing across that platform so that your accounts, your payments, your risk, your treasury are all working together in situ. And so that's where we see the value that we bring in Temenos, is being able to bring that, what I like to call party payments, accounts, risk, treasury integrated, PARTI, being brought together in order to service that digital wallet. And there's more and more things being added to that. So I think we're very well set, an organization like Temenos, to address that, to help our customers and the market move forward into that more consolidated receptacle that is the digital wallet, that's going to hold all those things related to your customer, be they a corporate or be they a consumer. And so that's where we see things changing. We see that consolidation and the need for an industrialized platform underneath supporting that consolidation.
Thank you so much for all the answers and insights, what is happening here on Money 2020.
It was great talking to you. Thank you very much, and have a great event.
Thanks.